Hey gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose for Wednesday, April 11th, 2012, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. We have great television archives up top. We have our JC eye candy below, and down in the corner, the results of yesterday's Rock and Roll poll question. City officials in East St. Louis are not happy about being poked fun at on Saturday Night Live over the weekend. They called East St. Louis a hellhole, and so we said, what do you think you should do about that? Or, they want to write a letter. The mayor of East St. Louis is going to write a letter to Saturday Night Live to Lorne Michaels and complain about it. 76% of you say, number one answer, East St. Louis is a hellhole. Deal with it. Number two answer, those sketches are just jokes and are not intended to be taken seriously. That's 13%. 10% of you think that the situation might be made worse by writing a letter, and only 2% say, good idea, let Lorne Michaels at NBC know East St. Louis can't be pushed around. You got a severe public relations problem over in East St. Louis. And again, for people who mow their lawns and paint their houses and keep their place look nice and try to be good neighbors and stuff like that, that's great, but it isn't funny, and it ain't helping you because, as I said, you have a severe public relations problem in East St. Louis. Let's move on. Home opener on Friday. A lot of people looking forward to having a dog at the ballpark. The question is, what do you think of the food at Busch Stadium? Here's your choices. It's great. I have lots of favorites. B, there's lots of food I'd like to eat, but I can't because my seats usually aren't up on those fancy levels where the good stuff is. C, it's not great. Or D, between the high prices and the questionable quality, I eat before I go into the ballpark. Please answer in the corner. We'll have results for you tomorrow. All right, Hillary Clinton says that she is not going to be attending the Democratic National Convention. Well, that's what they get for scheduling the convention the same time as the JCPenney's annual summer pantsuit blowout. Jennifer Love Hewitt says she tries to attract men by using vanilla extract. So you hear that, ladies? You hear that? If you want to be 33 and single, use vanilla extract. Melissa Gilbert injured her head during Dancing with the Stars the other night. It's the first time anybody has actually seen stars while watching that show. A woman broke into the South Dakota home and attempted to breastfeed a stranger's baby. This woman just breaks in off the street and tries to breastfeed a complete stranger's baby. I think I speak for everyone when I say, Jennifer Aniston, please get some help. And the Miami Marlins have suspended manager Ozzie Guillen after he said he respected Fidel Castro, because nothing will teach a man to appreciate living in a democracy like a 5-game suspension for simply speaking his mind. Ringo Starr says he still gets so nervous before he performs that he throws up. I mention that because we almost lost a Beatle the other day, another one, Demi Lovato. Okay, she's like one of these young singers that you probably know who she is. Spent some time in rehab, put on about 40 pounds, trying to shed it, trying to reconstruct her career, whatever. So she's pulling into a parking space where some guys were just standing in that parking space, but she didn't see them until she was already in the space and almost hit him, and one of the guys was Paul McCartney. She said that he was very nice about it, and she said, I can't believe I almost ran over a Beatle. Yes, to me, we can't either. On tomorrow's edition of Anderson Cooper's show, Kevin Costner talks about the last few years of Whitney Houston's life and said that he wrote her some letters at the request of some of Whitney's friends, thinking that maybe he could get through to her somehow. He says he doesn't know if those letters were ever read. This is interesting because we already know that he was corresponding with Princess Diana because he wanted her to star in The Bodyguard 2, and of course we know how that story turned out. Remember when we heard that Magic Johnson and a group of investors were buying the Los Angeles Dodgers for $2 billion in cash? Well, a funny thing about that, the New York Times says they don't have $2 billion in cash. Watch this space. All right, since The Simpsons debuted way back in the day, people have been wondering whether the Springfield, which is where the show takes place, has a particular designation. Which Springfield is it? Well, it turns out that Matt Groening, when he was a kid, used to watch Father Knows Best. And, of course, that show was also set in a fictitious town of Springfield. It was a non-denominational, just generic Springfield. But Groening says that he lived just outside of Portland, near Springfield, and he just always wanted to believe that it was in Oregon. So it turns out it is Springfield, Oregon, according to Matt Groening. He said that yesterday. Got tax day coming up next Tuesday, the 17th, which is odd because we, are trained to have a Pavlovian response to April 15th, but it's not till next Tuesday. Car accidents go up 6% on tax day. People making over $1 million a year are 1,100 times more likely to be audited, and they say the easiest way to cheat on your taxes is to be sole proprietor of a company. Then you can write things off you buy for yourself as a business expense. J.C. Corcoran Incorporated. Pizza Hut. And here we go. All I can say is, here we go. Pizza Hut has introduced a new version of the stuffed crust pizza. Instead of using melted cheese in the stuffed crust, they are now shooting hot dogs in there. You can also get it topped with a mustard drizzle. Not available in the States yet, but why do I have a hunch? They're getting ready to. Over the weekend, a man in Tennessee committed 10 felonies in just 9 hours. Listen to this guy. He took a Greyhound to Nashville, Tennessee, and broke into a local business. Then he stole a taser, a shotgun, and a revolver and a T-shirt. Okay? Then he burned the place to the ground. Then he went to a local bar and held 4 patrons at gunpoint. Then he robbed all 4 people using the taser on one and pistol whipping the other. Then he carjacked a taxi driver at gunpoint. Then he drove the taxi to a Walmart and bought food with stolen credit cards. Then he broke into a hotel's law office and vandalized it by pooping on the desk. Then he robbed some of the hotel guests at gunpoint, and then finally he carjacked another taxi at knife point. 10 felony charges in his 9-hour spree. Yes, they did catch him. If you want a unique way of protesting against the TSA when you're at the airport, try what this woman did at Denver. She just took everything off. She stripped bare naked. Nobody knows why yet, but made the news. Forbes.com has put out their annual list of TV's biggest money makers, which estimates the amount of ad revenue that TV shows bring in during 30 minutes. Number 1, well, let's do number 10. Modern Family, Mad Love at 9, Big Bang Theory, Desperate Housewives, Dancing with the Stars at 6, Grey's Anatomy at 5, Glee at 4, 2.5 Men, The X Factor at number 1. You were ahead of me. That's right, American Idol. All right, we got a couple of good shows tonight. Cardinals have a day game today. They will rerun that in prime time on FSN. But Letterman tonight has Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. They've turned their story into a play. It's called Magic Bird, so they're going to be on. Conan has Larry David. I only mention that because he plays a nun in the new Three Stooges movie, which I saw yesterday and will tell you about on Friday's edition of the Daily Dose. And Leno has a rare Albert Brooks sighting. Albert Brooks, who does not do lots of television appearances. 42 years ago today, it was in 1970 that the ill-fated Apollo 13 took off to the moon. The astronauts managed to safely return thanks to Tom Hanks and Kevin Bacon. We owe them a debt of gratitude. JC's Eye Candy today, as we said, we're dedicating all of our eye candies this week to opening day on Friday, and Trish Gazelle and I will be at the new O'Kelly's just south of the ballpark on 4th Street. Brand new place, 2 floors, a big bar, outdoor courtyard, the works. Screw the weather forecast. We don't care if there's a chance of rain. We're going to be broadcasting live, and I'll be doing my annual opening day show, which is in the archives at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. And so we'll do a new one. We got it freshened up. We got some new things on it. So we'll be doing that starting at 10 in the morning and going until 2, and then Hadley takes over from 2 till 3, because people have to have a place to hang out who don't have tickets, but just came down to the excitement of the game and the pregame activities and just sort of the ambiance of the whole thing. So again, we're on from 10 to 2 on the Big 550 KTRS, 10 a.m., 2 hours earlier than usual. And because we got David Freese, after he just stunned the baseball world last year, started making the rounds, and he showed up on Ellen, and then he showed up on The Tonight Show, and we have those stills. It's actually pretty cool. Check that out. It's right below what you're looking at right now. All right, again, what do you think of the food at Busch Stadium? That's our rock and roll poll question today. We've given you a couple of choices, and that's pretty much it. We will see you tomorrow. That's it. Wednesday, April 11th edition of the Daily Dose here at jcontheline.com. We are on the air every day from noon until 3 on the Big 550 KTRS. That's me and Trish Gazelle. Trish is trash every day. It is Wednesday, April 11th, and that's it. The Daily Dose. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.